Justin Bieber is no stranger to controversy. He came into the industry with his hit single Baby that was the most disliked music video on YouTube for years, for absolutely no reason other than people thinking he was annoying, snowballing into a trend to continue disliking. He's had several public incidents, from reckless driving in 2012, charged for vandalism in Brazil in 2013, egging a Calabasas neighbor's house in 2014, and that same month arrested for DUI, driving with a suspended license and resisting arrest in Miami, being banned from performing in China, a racial remix of his One Less Lonely Girl surfacing on the internet. But he was able to overcome all of these, even with the spotlight, and be forgiven by his fans and the public. After all, none of these things were terrible or resulted in much harm at all, and he was just a young teenager. But in 2020, one of the worst things that could possibly happen to Justin Bieber's image happened, and something that, if true, he would never be able to recover from. On June 20th, 2020 at 10:42 p.m., a brand new Twitter account with no profile picture and 0 followers with the @name Danielle GLVN sent a tweet out saying, "My name is Danielle. On March 9th, 2014, I was taken advantage of by Justin Bieber." The story read as follows. After hearing about Gabby's story with Ansel, this is in reference to the actor Ansel Elgort, who faced a similar accusation that went viral only days earlier, that he somewhat admitted to. It gave me courage to share mine. So this is a thank you to Gabby, which he didn't necessarily admit to it happening, but he admitted to being involved with the individual. My name is Danielle, and for personal reasons, I will not be stating my last name. I'm posting this anonymously because I'm not ready to come forward and reveal myself. If he comes across this, you know who I am. I know you remember me. I hope your life is hell after this, and you drown in guilt. On March 9, 2014, I was taken advantage of by Justin Bieber. Justin was with his former ex-girlfriend Selena Gomez for a concert in Houston, Texas. Me and my 2 other friends heard Scooter Braun was having an event at Banger's Sausage House and Beer Garden that Sunday night in Austin, Texas. Performers like Cody Simpson, Tori Kelly, The Wanted, and more were attending the event. Then later that night, Justin Bieber surprised the audience with about 100 people at the bar and performed a few songs. He publicly dedicated a few to Selena. My friends and I were enjoying ourselves the entire night. A man then approached me and my friends and asked us if we would like to wait after the show to meet Justin. Of course, we said yes. My friends and I thought it was strange at first and sketchy, but as promised, we all waited after the show because we were fans. Justin came up to us, we took some pictures and chatted for about 20 minutes. For legal reasons, I will not be sharing the photos. Justin and some other man, who appeared to be his friend, invited us over to the Four Seasons Hotel. Once again, we said yes. We didn't think anything of it, other than hanging out with a huge celebrity. Fast forward to arriving at the hotel, Justin's friend brought my 2 friends to a room, and he took me to another room. Justin had me agree to not say anything to anyone, or I can get in serious legal trouble. He asked for my phone and put it to charge. I guess it was an excuse to take it away from me. He then asked me to join him in bed. That's when I asked myself, how in the world is this normal? I'm in a hotel room with the Justin Bieber. I then began to think this was suspicious. I asked him where Selena was to make conversation. He told me not to worry about it, and then she'll come up to the room later. I kept asking questions to add to our conversation, but he then leaned in to kiss me. I was shocked. I was taken away by what he just did. I figured it was a sign to make me shut up, so I kissed him back. I thought to myself that I had a few drinks and hopefully he can tell by the way my breath smells like alcohol and nothing wrong will happen next. I knew he was with Selena, but I thought this is what every typical pop star is like, wanting other female attention because their current significant other isn't enough. Typical Hollywood stuff. Keep in mind this was in 2014, around the time where he was out of control. Our small kisses then turned into a steamy makeout session. He had pushed me onto the bed after about 10 minutes of sitting up, got on top of me, etc., etc. He found my jeans, unbuttoned them, removed them, and started tracing my underwear with his fingers. My thoughts then started to roam around my head, and I started to second guess myself. I kept asking myself, what about Selena? Did I consent to this? How will she react if she finds out? Where are my friends? How is this normal and okay? I told him this was going too far and that we should stop because I needed to find my friends. Most importantly, because I felt guilty about Selena. That's when he told me, relax, they're all okay. He then pulled my underwear down, unbuckled his pants, pulled his down, grabbed the bed covers and threw it over us. His body was on top of mine, skin to skin. I was very uncomfortable and I felt myself starting to hyperventilate. I told him to get off because I was starting to worry about my friends, but it was too late. He forced himself in me before I got the last few words out. He was in and out of me as I laid there speechless, my body unconscious. I don't want to go into detail about what happened next. Although this was 6 years ago, although I was 1 year older than him, he was 20, I was 21, I was still taken advantage of without consent. Fast forward to late last year, I finally decided to speak up about it. I told my close friends and my immediate family. It was hard, but I finally got to tell my story. If you've ever been a victim, I believe you. You and your story matter. You are valid, you are heard, I will stand with you. What happened to me was not okay. It took me years to finally speak up about it, but it is never too late to do so. Just because he's a huge pop star with a lot of money and millions of fans doesn't make this okay and should go unnoticed. I am still recovering, attending multiple therapy sessions, seeking help, and talking to people. Thank you for listening to my story.
Twitter user known as Danielle, who claims the singer sexually assaulted her.
Justin Bieber's lawsuit against the woman.
Bieber is speaking out after being accused of sexually assaulting a woman back.
This sent shockwaves throughout social media, with people who already didn't like Bieber for whatever controversies he had faced before, sending hate his way and wanting to believe this with no evidence. And it sent believers into a frenzy trying to gather more information on whether or not the details of this were true by corresponding the dates to pictures that may have been taken of Justin and posted online. It wasn't soon after before another girl came out with her own statement by the name of Caddy. Just like Danielle, I was taken advantage of by Justin Bieber. It was 5 years ago when I was taken advantage of by JB. On May 4th, 2015 evening, I went to meet and possibly get a picture with Justin, just like any other believers when he's in New York. From waiting in the evening till early morning of May 5th, 2015 in New York City, I met Mikey, Justin's bodyguard, outside of the hotel, and he found me attractive and gave me his phone number without taking mine. I stayed there waiting and hoping that Justin will come out so all of us believers that have been waiting outside his hotel can get pictures, but he didn't. Later around 2:30 a.m., I was invited by Mikey Arana to Bieber's hotel, the Langham Hotel, where there were 5 girls including myself. Out of the 5 girls, there was one who sat closer to Justin, whose name was Ariana, and 3 other boys. One of them was Kyle Massey, and the other was his hairstylist named Florida, I believe. I introduced myself and started socializing with everybody. Then I started jokingly talking in French to Bieber. As some of you already know, he can speak some French because he's from Canada. We were having a conversation. He said he couldn't hear me clearly because I was standing a little far from him, and he asked me to come closer. I started getting closer and he grabbed my hand and pulled me over to him. He was sitting on the couch, so I fell on his chest. I started getting up, and when we locked eyes, he kissed me and touched my behind while asking if it was real. I said yes and stopped his hands there and got up. I went to the restroom. He came behind, following me to the restroom, and locked the door, which was on the left of the bedroom. I asked what's going on, why did he lock the door? He said, I'll tell you. He started kissing me, touching me, and caressing me. I asked him to stop and continued to say that I cannot engage in this activity with anyone prior to marriage, traditional and cultural thing. So Bieber started pushing me to the bed and have his body against mine. He pinned me down, pulled my leggings down in his shorts, and penetrated me, which is considered a very bad thing unless by the husband. It aggravated me and I pushed him and kicked him between his legs and run out to the living room. I told my sister what happened, but she asked me to stay quiet about it because it'll ruin my family's honor and I never will be married. The fear of being called a disgrace by my family and be disowned made me rethink. I went to rehab for mental treatment in fear of ending it, because I've tried. I remained silent until last year in 2017 when I saw the Me Too movement. But after I tweeted about it, the believers sent hate towards me, so I deleted it, and when a writer, Amanda, saw it, she emailed me, and after I told her everything, she asked if I knew other girls who had been taken advantage of by JB, so that my case will be believable. I said I don't, and I haven't heard back from her since. That's when I decided to go to the law enforcement and never let an assailant go easily, knowing how bad it can mess one's mental health. Attached are the messages from Mikey and Ariana and Amanda. There was never a police report filed. These stories were both written quite similarly, almost like fan fiction stories. And it was odd that the time in the Notes app where Caddy types Danielle shows before the time of Danielle's original tweet. While this began going viral, Bieber fans quickly followed up and began to call out Caddy for her inconsistencies in the past, saying she had met Bieber and also saying she had still not met him over a year later. On September 10th, 2014, she tweeted, "Justin kissed me." On November 2nd, 2014, she would tweet, "Y'all believe anything. I could make an account with a hot babe as an icon and say I slept with JB and y'all will believe it." And here's the kicker. On May 30th, 2015, she would tweet, "Whenever I meet you, I'm gonna ask you to sing Favorite Girl for me at Justin Bieber cause it's my dream and goals." But wait, didn't she just write this entire Notes app post on how she was taken advantage of by Justin Bieber, which means she had to have met him on May 5th, 2015, 25 days earlier? That's a clear contradiction here, and it gets even worse. On June 6, 2015, she tweets, "I swear, if we don't meet, I'll find you and F you." Not something that you would think a victim would tweet about a month later. If you thought this was just an assumption and in these tweets she never explicitly stated that she had not met him after the allegations she said happened on May 5th of 2015, look no further than this tweet from June 19th, 2015, where she replies to someone saying, "Dude, I live in LA and I still haven't met him." There you have it. She clearly didn't meet him that night and took public posts on social media that said where he was at and manufactured an entire story based on that.
I want to be clear, there is no truth to this story.
Emails and articles to prove his innocence.
And even showed the hotel receipt to support his side.
Bieber says he now plans to take legal action.
Justin Bieber and his team were not going to let this slide though, because there were tons of people that believed these allegations, even after Beliebers pulled up proof that refuted both claims. Bieber sued both of them for defamation and $20 million, and we're going to look through those court papers right now, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly what came of this case. Danielle claims she was taken advantage of at the Four Seasons Hotel on March 9th, 2014. However, Bieber did not stay at that hotel in March 2014, and there are multiple witnesses and documentary evidence to dispute Danielle's malicious lie. The allegations by Jane Doe 2, aka Caddy, are likewise factually impossible, are contradicted by her own poor written statements, are supported only by falsified or fake texts, and her allegations are a complete fabrication for the self-stated purpose of garnering fame and attention, and there are numerous witnesses to contradict Caddy's malicious lies. Based on the timing of their posts and accusations, and information therein, Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 may be either one and the same person or conspired with each other in the dissemination of the defamatory fabrications to bootstrap and support the accusations in a scheme to achieve fame and harm Bieber. The first girl, Danielle, claimed that she had gone to Bieber's room at the Four Seasons Hotel, but that wasn't quite true. Justin Bieber was at the Four Seasons that day, but he was not staying at the hotel. He was at the restaurant, as stated by a woman that saw him there. She would tweet, "Never thought I'd tweet about this, but hey, why not? At Justin Bieber is at the Four Seasons Austin at South by Southwest." This was from March 10th, 2014. And then when people started resurfacing this tweet, she would reply and say, "Hi, I'm not sure what this is all about and why I'm being tagged, but I was in the Four Seasons restaurant. Don't at me." And he was with Selena Gomez. The article on March 10th, 2014 would write the following. The 20-year-old singer turned up at the Banger Sausage House and Beer Garden in Austin last night for the South by Southwest Festival and sang his hit As Long As You Love Me for his quote-unquote baby. The boyfriend hitmaker told his fans before belting out lyrics to the catchy hook, "This next song goes out to my baby," as he stared at the 21-year-old singer who was standing in the wings. After Justin's romantic gesture, the pair, who have been dating on and off since 2010, reportedly hung out together in the beer hall for an hour after everyone left the venue. A source told Us Magazine, Justin and Selena were together the whole time, sitting together, hanging out, and very friendly together. There's even video footage of him coming out of the Bangers bar after his performance. There were fan sightings of Justin with Selena Gomez after his performance at the bar in Austin, with photos here. And his defense team even provided proof that he was staying at an Airbnb rental with Selena Gomez that same night with emails. They explained how things unfolded that night. Bieber and his then-girlfriend Selena Gomez traveled together to Austin, late Sunday night, March 9th, for the show from Houston where Bieber had accompanied Gomez for her show at the Houston Rodeo. Bieber's appearance at South by Southwest was so last minute that the venue's owner wasn't informed and didn't know that Bieber was coming for sure until about 11 p.m. when he received a message that Bieber would be showing up about 20 minutes later and would perform a few songs. In crafting her despicable defamatory story, Danielle apparently did not know that Bieber, as photographed and widely reported, including by US Magazine and other outlets, attended that show with his then-girlfriend and dedicated a song to her. Following the surprise appearance, Bieber and Gomez left the event together. They were photographed by fans and paparazzi in the street and leaving the venue together, pictures of which were published online and reported by gossip media outlets. Photographs show Bieber with Gomez late the night of March 9th, 2014, early AM March 10th in Austin, and make it clear that they were together that night at the venue and went from the venue out after and then to the rental property and never went to the Four Seasons Hotel. Bieber and Gomez were together the entire night at the rental property private residence, along with several of their friends. In the reservation agreement that was provided, it shows that the Airbnb was booked from March 7th to March 16th, although Bieber and Gomez only stayed there for one night, being March 9th. The only other hotel he stayed at with his friends was the Westin Hotel on March 10th. Emails, as well as official documents, corroborated that. So this one was easily debunked with facts. How about Caddy though? Caddy's claim is that she met Justin and went to the Langham Hotel with him following the night of May 4th, 2015. Despite what we already showed was enough evidence of her own statements on Twitter, saying she had met Justin Bieber, saying what she would do to Justin if she were to meet him, and saying she had never met him years later, there's still demonstrable evidence from that night in New York to show she was lying. There is no truth to the defamatory Caddy accusations. The detailed narrative and defamatory Caddy accusations are absolutely false, fabricated, and fictional. Caddy fabricated her encounter with Bieber at the Langham Hotel in New York because she believed that Bieber had stayed there the night of his attendance at the Met Gala, May 4, 2015. The alleged scenario of a woman being taken advantage of by Bieber in a hotel room full of people in New York on the night of May 4, 2015 is false. The allegations are complete and utter outlandish fabrications to harm Bieber and to garner attention and fame to the false accuser. Caddy, as an apparent superfan, may have waited outside his hotel at times, and like other fans, may have managed a fan photograph with him. But if so, that is where any reality of her story ends and her false defamatory statements begin. On May 4, 2015, Bieber attended the Met Gala in New York, and then immediately after went to and attended a celebrity-hosted private after-party at Up and Down, attended by dozens of other celebrities and witnesses, at which Bieber was photographed in the early hours of May 5, 2015. Bieber did not leave the celebrity after-party until close to 4 a.m., which he then stopped at a hot dog stand, along with others for a snack. Bieber was photographed going to the after-party, and then at 4 a.m. when he stopped at the hot dog stand. In her fabrication, Caddy claims that she was invited up and joined Bieber and a group of people hanging out in his hotel room at 2:30 a.m., which was the same time Bieber was actually at the Met Gala after party with dozens of witnesses. Caddy's story is an impossibility, a poor but damaging fabrication. When it was time to show up to court, Justin Bieber had his team of elite lawyers, and guess who Caddy showed up with? Well, in 2021, an LA news site let us know. One of two women sued by Justin Bieber for defamation after they accused him in social media posts of taking advantage of them, took part in a brief court hearing in the case Thursday and acted as her own attorney. Khadija Jabreen Qadi appeared before Los Angeles Supreme Court Judge Terry A. Green, who referred the case to private mediation. Here she was representing herself, and the other girl, Danielle, who was named Jane Doe since there's no information on her, and it was likely also Caddy, didn't show up. There was definitive proof and dozens of witnesses disproving both stories. You would think this would be a free Grand Slam, a knockout, a buzzer beater of a case. It doesn't get any easier than this when it comes to a defamation case, right? Right? Well, not quite. In March of 2022, we would get an update. Attorneys for Bieber filed a request for dismissal in Los Angeles County Superior Court last week. The court documents did not reveal whether Bieber and the defendants had agreed on a settlement. Justin has decided to move on and dismiss the case for defamation filed in 2020, Evan Spiegel, an attorney for Bieber, said Tuesday evening. The trial was set to start in May of 2022, but that day would never come. So even in the most open and shut case of defamation, this female was able to get away scot-free. The only reason Justin Bieber was able to brush these accusations off, at the height of what was going on with Me Too, was because of all the overwhelming evidence that he had being a famous figure and everything happening in his life being documented, photographed, posted publicly, and witnessed by multiple other people. Otherwise, there would be doubt in some people's mind with the whole believe every victim mentality that was espoused through these accusations on him. What's more is that this catty individual was constantly trying to get famous and seek clout by any means on social media. In 2018, she would send tweets saying, "I want to star in a Netflix series, Twitter, do your thing." You would think the worst part of this situation would be the fact that this woman could write not one, but potentially two different fabricated stories about arguably the worst crime and most not only career-ending, but freedom-ending thing a man could do, to one of the biggest superstars on the planet. And even when all the evidence verifiably proves everything she said false, she walked away scot-free with no consequences. No, that's not the worst part. If you take a look at Caddy's social media profile today, she's still trying to grow on there and on YouTube, unsuccessfully, but in her bios it reads that she's the founder of Nor for Women. What is that, you might ask? Well, it's described as a non-profit organization with the purpose of helping victims of rape and assault in Chad. The irony writes itself. The most unqualified person to ever represent actual victims is someone who lied about a heinous crime that she's trying to position herself as helping women who actually experienced said crime. There's nothing more discrediting to an actual victim story than someone who has manufactured one against someone for what? Clout points? Sympathy points? Ruining someone's life? You would think after what she had done, something like this, she would at least have a level of shame, maybe disappear off the internet, especially after having gotten married and having a child. But at this point, I'm not sure if she's delusional or straight up evil.